Okay. Front chokes. With an arm, without an arm, with a gi, without a gi. There are so many varieties, but we're gonna start in quarters to look at a couple of these, and I wanna talk about the setup that I like to find myself under the neck. So I got one arm coming in between his ear and his shoulder here, and I'm reaching for his elbow. Now a lot of times I wanna collapse this so I can work towards a darce or something that I feel really secure in. But as I pull on this elbow, it is my partner's natural instinct to pull that elbow away from me. And as they're pulling that elbow away from me, they're exposing their chin. So he's pushing his head into my bicep, he's pulling his elbow back, and now I'm right underneath his neck. So if I get a deep enough bite and I drop my shoulder, I can expose my hand onto the back of his shoulder. From here, I can lock that up just like a rear naked choke and drive my elbows towards each other. That's the best choke in the world if you can get it. Now, you don't always get it, and sometimes we're pulling here and we just get a tiny bite underneath the chin. Now, I like to grab my pinky bone here, and then I'm gonna put my chest on the back of his head, pushing him into my wrist. I'm clamping my elbows together so my forearms are on his ears, and then you can just pull up to finish that and push down. I also like to turn my wrist like I'm looking at a watch.
That's a nice, terrible detail.
So it kind of spreads out the trachea and the esophagus, right?
Yeah.
So it just smashes it in there. Yeah. So again, that's just grabbing and then looking at the top of my hand as I press down on the back of the head. So we can play a game in between these where I'm pulling on this and I go to fight this, and now he's gonna bring his hands up to fight me. Now he's brought his elbow in. And so we can toggle back and forth in between these attacks. If he's fighting my hand on the guillotine, he's giving me the elbow for the darce or the anaconda. Right? So we want to play back and forth and not get too set on any of these. And then there's also options in all of these to start grabbing collars. So he's fighting my front choke. That makes his elbow vulnerable to be pulled out and in. I'm going to grab the back of the tricep to keep that across his face and either lock up this gable grip or my bicep into like a rear naked choke grip. From here, I'm gonna dive my head underneath him so that it's easy to roll. Then I'm gonna start walking my hips towards his hips and finish the choke.